Hi everyone, Salesforce Admin Training Day 29. Let's see today's agenda. We'll quickly go through the previous session and we'll talk about the automation journey. And before talking about the automation journey, a couple of things we will see into the email to Salesforce. And we'll talk about the automation journey. In the automation journey, what is the workflow, how to use the workflows, types of workflows, use case of the workflow, and limitations of the workflows and process builder. If time permits, we'll go to the process builder. Otherwise, we'll do process builder tomorrow. And then homework of the process builder, conclusion, trial head. And today's interview questions. No. Yesterday, the last class, we have seen the email to email templates. What are the different email templates are there? We have seen all the classic email template as well as the lightning email template. And we tried sending the emails from the object, opening up the one record. So I had opened the record. From here, we have an activity called as a email. So if I click on this email activity, I can choose the template and send the details, send the person. Now let's suppose instead of sending a single email, I wanted to send multiple emails at a time. I wanted to send multiple emails at a time. Now, whatever the emails, like instead of going to the each record and sending the emails. Now, there are some emails like a birthday emails, like it is possible that in the world can two member have a same day birthday or a more than one member can have a same date as a birthday, or some emails like a festival emails, like so during the festival time we wanted to send at least 100 emails. Now sending them each, going to the each record and sending an email is a very difficult. In that case, like a festival emails or a new year emails, if I wanted to send the multiple emails, like instead of going to the each record and sending it here, I wanted to send multiple emails. In order to do that, we have an option called on the object level. You will see something called as a send list email. Send list email. Now you choose the list view. Not directly, do not click on this here send list view. Click on something, like click on the list view which you want, like a birthday this month, right? So probably the one person is there. Now let me add one more person here. Let's go to the my contacts. Let's assume Andy. So Andy is another contact, and this contact birthday is also in this month. Right, I have updated this. Okay, so this is done. Now, if I go to the contacts and click on a birthday this month, now here I have two contacts who are celebrating the birthday in this month, right? So I wanted to send an email to these people, right? So I can click on the send list email. I can click on send list email. When I click on a send list email, what is happened? It is taken the list view. Birthday this month list view. That means whoever the contacts are there in this list view, everybody it is going to send. Everybody it is going to send it. Now, if I have a one member in the list view, it will take that list view. If I have a more than one member, like a 10 members, 20 members, or a 30 members, doesn't matter how many members are there, how many records are there. It is simply takes the list view. So recipients is the list view. Whatever the list view is there, it is just take the list view here. And then you can choose the email template, whatever the email template says new customer. Now choose that new customer. Now here, if you want to make any changes, right? If you want to make any changes, you can go ahead and make it. Otherwise, if you want to take any other, like notify new account creation email. So this is also, if you want to make any changes, you can make it. You can modify it and make the changes. Right, if you want to make it as a bold. So these options are available for the mass email. Now, thanks for showing an interest. Customer ID, customer, like whatever the details are there, these are the details. Now, if you want to attach any file, you can attach it. You can attach the file. Now, this is the email that I can send directly to the multiple people at a time. Directly to the multiple people at a time. Now, while sending it, sometimes what we will do is, for example, let's take a scenario as a birthday, right? So exactly midnight, 12 o'clock, we will send a reminder email or something. We will keep it as a reminder message in our mobile so that we can wake up 1 minute before and we can wish our friends, right? Exactly at 12 o'clock. Similarly, in the Salesforce also, you can have some kind of a reminder, or instead of you waking up at 12 o'clock and sending the information, like if you wanted to send an email from the Salesforce, there are multiple customers who are going to celebrate a birthday tomorrow, right? So in that case, like every day you have a some list where the people are celebrating the birthdays. Now every day night you cannot wake up at 12 o'clock and click on the send button. Right, click on the send list view and click on the send button. We cannot do that. Instead of that, what you can do is you choose everything like a select the recipient, subject, and email template, everything selected. But here we have a one option. Instead of clicking on a send button, there is an option called send later. Send later. So click on this send later. That means it is going to ask you which date do you wanted to send. I'll say send it on 5th June. And what is the time that you wanted to send it? Exactly 12:01 or 12 o'clock. Just send this information. And this is if I click on a save, and these two people will be going to receive an email. It is going to send in 05 June 12 a.m. IST. 12 a.m. IST. So exactly 12 o'clock they will receive an email saying that happy birthday or some kind of a email or some emails they are going to receive it, right? So in that case they will be receiving the details. Now let me update the email here. These are some different emails. I'll just make sure that it is not going to the anybody. Okay, so let's click on the save button. Now I'll click on it, send list email. Send list email. Now here I'm going to choose insert template. Now do I have anything? Let's take a lightning email template. Okay, let's go with the email classic email template. Okay, I'm going to choose some. random email. So I have chosen some random email, click on a send later, and I'm going to say is exactly 12 o'clock send this email to the customers. Click on a save. So it says that scheduled for 05 June 2023, 12 a.m. IST. Right? Send later. Click on it, send later. List email was queued. List email was queued. Now if I open this record and I cannot see anything. I cannot see the any information. Right? So those emails are at the backend, it is queued and it will automatically send an email night 12 a.m. So once it is sent, they are going to receive an email. So that is the mass email. We have something here, mass email. Send list email. This is the mass email. So like this, maximum in the developer console, in the developer edition, you can send only 10 emails. You can send only 10 emails. Now, for example, if I select here, now I'm going to select another template. Now let me choose some email here and let's click on a send. Now I have sent one email. Now if I open this record, I could see that there is a one email just now I have sent it. Welcome to the community. Now click on here for today's send list email. Immediately the count is reduced. So maximum you can send 10 emails. Right? So as soon as I send it, so it count, even if it is a mass email, it will count each email. Within the mass email, how many emails are there? How many records are we sending an email? So it will count that as well. So as soon as it reaches the 10, it will say that you cannot send the email because you have already crossed the limits. You have already crossed the limits. So this is in the developer edition. So that is the mass email. That's how we send the mass email. Right? And another scenario. Somebody asked a question, I think 3 days back. If we want to send an email from the Gmail to Salesforce. Now, from the Gmail to Salesforce, I wanted to send an email. Now, from the Gmail directly, I wanted to send details. So I have a Samskar ID. In the Samskar ID, if I say compose email, right? If I say samskar@gmail.com, and this is the contact. So assume that this is the contact where it has a details of email ID, this one. Now, whenever I'm sending this email, so let's say that this is the test email. This is test email. Hi, Andy. I'm testing the email. I'm testing the inbound email. To Salesforce. Right? Thank you. Now, if I send this email to Salesforce, how Salesforce is going to understand it? How whether Salesforce is going to receive the details or not. Now, in case if you are sending these details to anybody within the Salesforce, if you are sending it from the third party means whether it could be a Gmail, whether it could be a Outlook or Yahoo, any email ID, right? Any email, which are the email from the different third-party system. If you are sending an email from their different third-party system, if you are sending an email to the Salesforce, how Salesforce can capture the details, whoever is sending the details to the Salesforce. Now, in that case, we have some concept is called email to Salesforce. That means somebody is sending an email to Salesforce. Now, email to Salesforce allows you to automatically log emails that are sending from the third party email. Whoever is sending from the third party, it is going to automatically capture that information. And it will log into the activities of lead, contact, opportunity. These are the three standard objects: lead, contact, and opportunity. Any of the lead, contact, and opportunity. Email to Salesforce is restricted to the lead, contact, and opportunity. Now, in case if you want to send an email to the contact, Salesforce lead, Salesforce opportunity, in that case, how a system is going to identify with the help of email to Salesforce. With the help of email to Salesforce, navigation steps are: now go to the setup, email to Salesforce, activate the email to Salesforce. Now, right now, if I send this email, Salesforce is not going to listen to that email. Only when it will listen is go to the setup and search for an email. There is an option called email to Salesforce. Email to Salesforce. So email to Salesforce is allows you to automatically log an email you send from the third-party email account as the activity on a lead, contact, and opportunity record in Salesforce.com. And after the email to Salesforce is activated, user can access the my emails to Salesforce page to view the unique email to Salesforce. Now here you have one more option which is called as a my email to Salesforce. My email to Salesforce. Now right now this option is, now if you go to the profile, click on this profile, settings. Click on the profile and settings, then it will go to the personal information. Now if you observe here, if you open the email, you will see here my email setting and my unresolved items, and my email setting. Only these two options are available, right? So my email to Salesforce option is not available. You cannot see my email to Salesforce option. You cannot see here. Now, if you want to see my email to Salesforce option, that means you need to enable this email to Salesforce. That means you need to turn on this switch. If you turn on this switch, then only you can see that. Now click on activated, save. Now this is just a sample email that is going to send it. That's okay. Now it is activated. Once it is activated, now go back to this profile, settings, and just refresh the page. Once you refresh the page, now you can see the my email to Salesforce. My email to Salesforce. Now here, my email to Salesforce is having a different sections. One is my acceptable email address. That means whoever is sending the email to the Salesforce, we have to add their email address here. It says enter the email address that you use to email address for the contact separated with a comma. That means usually in the client side, now, or a user whoever want to send the details, now there will be a common email address will be there. Common email address will be there. For example, I'm sending an email from Samskar ID. Now let's take another email ID. So this is Samskar ID. 108. 108. Now I'm going to add that one also here. Swapna for Salesforce 108. So from that 108, I'm going to send an email. I'm going to send an email to Salesforce. Now, whoever is sending the email to Salesforce, that email address needs to be added here. That is my acceptable email address. Now, first of all, let me tell you, Salesforce has so many options for a single functionality. Single functionality, they have so many different ways of implementing it, right? The reason is Salesforce is not a new technology, new one. It is from the 1990 or 2000. It is keep on improving their functionality. So that's the reason you will see so many options which are available in the Salesforce. Now my email to Salesforce is this is initially it came. The reason for this is whenever somebody is sending the email from the third party to the Salesforce, if they wanted to receive directly to the contact or a lead or an opportunity in that situation without any other implementation or any customization, they wanted to go for some just simply configuration piece, they wanted to go for it. So that's the reason they have came up with my email to Salesforce. This is initial concept. Now, email address, when the emails are sent to the salesforce.com, always send them to the, now automatically assign. Now, do you want to assign the lead or a contact? Only for the contact. Now, if you say lead or a contact, you can choose the lead or contact. So whenever you choose single one, it says that if duplicate records are found, right? So samskarit@gmail.com, I have almost every record has the same email ID. So definitely there is a duplicate ID. So in that case, the record with the most activity, whatever the record that has the most activity will be logged, or all the records. Basically, if you want to add it to the all the records, irrespective of the most activity or anything, you wanted to add it to the all the activities, you can add it to the all the activities, all the records, right? So even if it is a duplicate, ideally in the real time, there won't be a duplicate. Each contact will have a different email ID. Now, similarly, if you want to go with the opportunity, in the opportunity, let's say that email is associated with all the contacts open opportunities. It is simply going to add all the opportunities that are linked to the contact. What are the open opportunities are there related to the contacts? It is going to log everywhere. Now I'll uncheck. I'll just use the contact. Now always save email attachment. Always save the email attachments. If you want to select this, it is going to save the email attachments. Now email me confirmation for association. Just this is a just confirmation. Now enter the email domain you do not want to associate it separated by comma. In case if you have any other emails that you are not supposed to accept it, enter the email domain you do not want to associate or separated with the comma. So if you want to exclude any domain details, so you can add those information here. Now I'll just click on a save. As soon as I click on a save, now I see here email to Salesforce address. Email to Salesforce address. Copy this email to Salesforce address. Copy this email to Salesforce address. Copy this. Right. So let's go back to the this one. Now 108. Now here I'll say that two addresses samskarit@gmail.com. This is a test email. Hi, sending test email to check whether Salesforce able to log these emails in record activity. Thank you. Let's say now. So this is the email. Now, while sending an email, we have to specify in the BCC. You need to specify whatever you have copied the email address. Whatever the email address, this BCC email to Salesforce email address is there, right? So this email address you need to copy here. If you do not copy in BCC, Salesforce does not listen to it, right? Only the way it is listening is you need to add a BCC. So that's how the concept is here. Enter the email to Salesforce address in the BCC line of the email that you want to add the activity history of the related records. So we need to add it in the BCC line of email. BCC line of email. Now select this, click on the send button. Click on send button. As soon as I click on a send button, now this option is all the accounts. Let's go to the all the contacts. Let's go to the contacts. Now here, let's go to the Salesforce sales application, and here is the contacts. Now let's go to the Andy. Now here is the activity. It captured the email that is sent from the another person. Assigned to April batch, completed status, name is Andy, and subject is this is a test email, due date is 4/6, today it is sent, priority normal, and when it is sent just now 8:37 a.m. Indian time, and this is the address, right? So these are the information we have sent. So whatever we are sending from the third party system, we can capture the details. We can capture the details. So that is the where the option is available. My email to Salesforce. My email to Salesforce. My email to Salesforce concept is whoever is sending from the third party system, right? It should be, they should be providing the email and we should be providing the some email to sales, which is generated by the Salesforce. Whatever it is generated by the Salesforce, that email address we should provide it to them. That email address we should provide it to them. And there is another way also available that we will see during the Apex. So instead of sending the BCC address, like what we can do is whenever we are sending an email, whenever I'm sending an email to anybody, right? So while sending an email itself, I wanted to add a BCC. Now, for example, here, BCC is automatically taking the Samskar ID at gmail.com, right? It is taking automatically Samskar ID at gmail.com. What is the purpose it is taking directly? BCC, because if you go to the my email settings, you have mentioned that BCC has to be this. So would you like to automatically BCC email to your return address? So this is the email that you have a setting here, which is automatically placed in the BCC. Now, instead of that BCC, what you can do is you can delete this and you can add this BCC here. And now whoever is responds to it. Now let's suppose, now I'm adding the template here. Now, let's say insert template. Let's say new customer email, click on insert, send. Right? Now let's go here in the email, Samskar writing. Now we have received it from the support Salesforce. These are the email which I have received it. Now let's say that reply. It does not have a reply. It does not have a reply to. Now if you see here, two addresses, from addresses support@salesforce.com. From addresses support@salesforce.com, and BCC is not displaying here. So that part we will see how to do it, because it is a TLS standard encryption. Now we will see how to do it that in the Apex. So while sending the email itself, we can add the BCC so that user can respond back. And the next one is whenever you are clicking on an email button, whenever you are clicking on an email button, now it is directly populating the Salesforce email template, directly populating the Salesforce email template. Salesforce has provided some option here. In case if you want to send an email on behalf of Gmail, actually the Salesforce email only, but you wanted to send as a Salesforce, as a Gmail. That means from the Salesforce, I wanted to connect to Gmail and on behalf of Salesforce. Now, right now, what we are doing is if I click on this Gmail email, then it is connected to the Salesforce email part. I can enter the details here. Now, instead of this, I wanted to, whenever I click on this, it should be connected to the my Gmail account. It should be connected to the my Gmail account. Right now, it is connected to the Salesforce email, but instead of this, I wanted to connect it to the Gmail account or a Outlook account. That means here Gmail should be opening up in the Gmail on behalf of Salesforce. We will be sending the details. Now let me show you that. Now here you have a send through external email service. Send through external email service. Now, this send through external email services, basically it will allow the user to send email to the Gmail when composing the email in the Lightning experience. So whenever you are composing, whenever you are drafting an email, you are doing in the Salesforce. But instead of doing it here, I wanted to connect it to the Gmail. So just turn on this. Okay. So once it is turned on, let me refresh this. Now, if I click on an email, now what is happening right now? It is asking me that do you want to send an email through your Gmail account? Do you want to send an email through Gmail account? Start here the connecting your Gmail account to Salesforce so you can send an email through that account for a better deliverability and open rates. You can also see them emails you have sent in your Gmail account, right? So if you say yes, connect my Gmail account, click on this yes, connect. Then it will ask you to enter the Gmail credentials. Now let me connect the Swapna for Salesforce. Now click on here. Now it is came back to the Salesforce. Now here if I click on this, now what it is saying that the from address it is coming as a Swapna for Salesforce 108@gmail.com. @gmail.com. Right? So it is automatically taking as a Gmail. And when you do this kind of a thing, when you enable this, we have to be very careful in the real time. We should not be turning on this, because the reason is when you turn on this, there is a security. The Salesforce data might be shared with the different people. If you turn on this, Usually, Salesforce has a security that should not be sharing the data to anybody. Should not be sharing the any data to anybody. But if you turn on this, Salesforce is not going to take any responsibility of in case if there is any data shared to this Gmail, right? Whenever you turn on this, there is some security, some data of the contact or a lead, some information might be shared outside, might be shared outside. So we have to be very careful. Do not easily turn on this. It seems like a very easy, but in the real time, do not ever turn on this in case if client does not, because usually none of the client does not want to share their data to the anybody, share their data to the anybody. So if you turn on this, what will happen? Though you are in the Salesforce, but you are trying to access the Gmail account. You are trying to access the Gmail account and you are sending the details here. You are sending some customer information here. You are sending customer information. If customer responds back to you saying that, okay, can you update this? Then who will be receiving it? This person will be receiving it. So ultimately, there is some data you are sharing to the Gmail person. You are sharing to the outside of the Salesforce external email. You are sending the some sensitive data to the external. In this case, do not rely on this. Do not rely on this. Okay. So never ever turn on this if you do not have a confirmation in the real time. Because if you turn on this, Salesforce simply says that you have turned on this. We do not have any more security with you. We do not have any more security. Because as soon as we turn on, Salesforce is not going to take any responsibility of sharing the personal details, sharing the Salesforce details to anybody. So do not ever turn on if you do not have any confirmation from the client or a architect. Do not ever do. And one more thing, either you can do with the Gmail or Office 365. Both together you cannot do together, right? Either you can do turn on this or you can turn on this. Both you cannot turn on together. So this is a integration between the Gmail and Salesforce. If you turn on this on behalf of something, on behalf of whatever the Gmail is there, from address will be your Gmail address, and ultimately, whenever you are sending the details, you are sharing the data to the outside of the Salesforce to the Gmail account. So that means your data is exposed to outside of the Salesforce. Now, any hackers want to get the details, they can easily get the details because it is already exposed here. You already did this. So that's the reason it's a very, very sensitive, this one. So do not ever do this one. It's very delicate. So nobody wants to share their data to the external, right? So that's the reason that this is the option it came, because in case if you have an option that you wanted to use, there are very, very rare scenarios that you wanted to track some leads, or you are sending some third party. Like for example, I'll give you some scenarios. We will receive few emails, kind of a emails like some attractive emails, like a some product, right? Some makeup items, something, you will receive it. Immediately we will respond to that saying that yes, I am interested to this. As soon as I respond to as I'm interested to this, actually doesn't go to the organization. It goes to the person, because the person wants to get the leads from the dummy or a fake email. From the fake email, they wanted to capture the leads. So that's the reason they will do sometimes. They will just activate it in order to just capture the leads or their personal email ID. So some kind of those issues will happen. That's different one. So that's the reason we have a send through external email service. Send through external email service. Now again I'm repeating the limits. We have a inbound emails, outbound emails. Inbound emails are nothing but the emails which are coming to the Salesforce is called inbound emails. Inbound is nothing but the emails which are coming inside the Salesforce, which is called as the inbound. Outbound is nothing but the emails which we are sending out from the Salesforce. If it is an inbound emails, this is a standard Salesforce governor limits. So if it is a processing limit, right, number of user license multiplied by 1,000, right, so you can receive 1 million inbound emails. It's a lot of them. Email size, how much big size that I can keep it. So maximum 10 MB. If it is exceeds the 10 MB, then user will be receiving they will be receiving some notification or some kind of an email alert saying that you are already exceeding the whatever the limit is there in email size limit, you are already exceeding that. So it will be rejected and they will be receiving an email. This is the inbound. Outbound emails are nothing but now for outbound email, if it is a single email, you are sending a single email. A maximum is 5,000 external emails per day. Per day, you can send 5,000 emails. This is the external emails. When I say external emails, there is the external emails and the internal emails. External emails and the internal emails. First of all, internal emails are nothing but internal emails does not count any limit. There is no limit for the internal emails. Internal emails is nothing but there is a user created in the Salesforce. User created in the Salesforce. If you are sending an email to the Salesforce user, there is a user already there. User record is already there. And you are sending an email to that user. It does not count. It does not count. External email is nothing but there is no user. External email is nothing but there is no user in Salesforce. No user in Salesforce. Right, I got some information. I wanted to send some details to the somebody whom we don't know, like the person just came for a 5 minutes and he said that he is looking for some product. So we just captured his information, but if he was not interested there. So I wanted to send an email to the person again to remind him about the product, remind him about the product. So in that scenario, that person user is not yet created in the Salesforce, but I just wanted to send a reminder to that person. So that is an external email. I am sending an email to the external person whose record is not there in the Salesforce. So it is counted only the external emails, 5,000 external emails you can get it. Now, mass email, like if you are sending a multiple emails together, then it is depending on your organization. It is depending on your organization. If it is a professional edition, 250 address limit mass email, address limit, right? This is the address limit, 250 address limit, you can send an email. Now enterprise, 500 address. 500 email address you can specify. If it is unlimited, 1,000 email address you can specify. This is the limit per mass email. Just take a notes of it. Out of this, you might see one of the interview questions. Inbound email. How many inbound emails can we send it? How many outbound emails can we send it? Right? If it is a single email in the outbound, how many can we send it? If it is a mass email, how many addresses I can specify? Right? So at least one interview question it might hit from here. Take a notes of it. Let me know once it is done. Okay, take a notes, then we will come to the my email to Salesforce. Let me know once you are done. Okay. How about others offline? Okay. So let's go on. Now, whenever you are sending an email, right? So that time we have a to address. This is generally whenever you are sending an email to CC address, BCC address, right? And then you have a subject, and bottom is the content where you need to specify. And here you have a send button or a cancel button is available. Now, usually if I am sending an email, to anybody, if I'm sending an email, I'll specify the to address. Because to address is nothing but it's a important person. Whoever is there in the to address, it's an important person that they should be receiving an email. Now, CC address, we have another thing which is a CC. Now, I wanted to copy somebody, like I'm sending an email to my team member. Assume that I'm sending an email to the team member. Now, when I'm sending an email to a team member, I wanted to copy my manager. Right? Now, when I copy the manager, that means whoever is in CC, it's just kind of their information. They need not to do anything there. Just a FYI. Now, they are just should be aware that I'm sending this email to the another person. But who is the actual person should be responded to, address person will be actually responded, right? Now, let's take a different scenario, resignation email. Whenever I'm resigning the company, we will send an email to the multiple people. Resignation email is nothing but when we are leaving the company. At the finally we will be sending some kind of a thank you email for the everybody. Thank you email for everyone. Now, whenever we are sending a thank you email for everybody, we will put a to address. Okay, there won't be any CC address. Usually it will be to address. Right? To address, and usually what people does is they will put a BCC here. The reason for BCC here is I should be copied. Okay. BCC, the reason they will put it is whenever they are resigning it, they want to thank you everybody. Like they will be sending an email to entire group, like a Hyderabad group. So Hyderabad group, they will be sending an email, right? Whenever they are sending an email to Hyderabad group, saying that thank you for the time that you spent with me, and I learned whatever the journey is there, I learned in this journey. So whatever their experience is there, they will write everything and they will send it to Hyderabad. Now, if somebody responds out of these two address, somebody will be responding to this email. Somebody will be responding to email. Now, when this person respond to this email, by the time this person may not be in the company. By that time, this person may not be in the company, right? So that means this person do not want to miss any responses. Now, whoever is responding to this email, I wanted to read it because few people are very interested what are the reply I am getting from the each member. So in that case, what they will do is they will add a BCC. They will add BCC, whatever their name is there. For example, BCC is balu@gmail.com. Balu@gmail.com. For example, you are very interested whatever you are receiving from the third party system, you wanted to see. But nobody else, now somebody received this email, they should not be seeing this one. They should not be seeing this one. They will not be seeing this BCC by default. It will be hidden. It will be hidden. So nobody will be seeing this. But whenever they reply to all, whenever they click on it, reply to all. So what will happen? It will reply to everybody. Reply to everybody, including the BCC. Including the BCC, it will reply to everybody. But they don't know who is there in the BCC. Who is there? BCC. Right? It's a BCC is nothing but in the real time, it's a blind carbon copy. Blind carbon copy. Nobody will see that. Nobody will see that. So in this case, you will be receiving an email, right? Now, similarly, Salesforce is sending an email to the person. Salesforce is sending an email to the person. Now, when they are sending an email to person, we can add a BCC, the Salesforce email ID. So, how do I know what is Salesforce email ID? I don't know what is a Salesforce email ID because there are so many users are there. So many users are there. And so many email to case, this everything will be changed sometime. This is not the standard. Now, how do I know the standard? Whatever the Salesforce is generating the email address, Salesforce always encrypted and generated some email address. So whatever the email address that Salesforce is suggesting it, right? It has some encrypted one. So right at the last, it says that .salesforce.com. .salesforce.com. So this is generated by the Salesforce. Whenever Salesforce generates it, we just need to use that email address. It has some email to Salesforce @ and there is some keyword which is there. We just simply need to use it .salesforce.com. Now this email ID, if I specify this email ID, if I specify in the BCC, what will happen is whoever is replying to this, if the two addresses matches with any of the contact. Now here I have a two addresses balu@gmail.com. balu@gmail.com. Now in that case, whatever this two address is there, if this two address, now if I have in the Salesforce, this balu@gmail.com is a two address. Now this two address and BCC is unspecified here in the BCC, right? So whenever the user reply to this email, whenever user is responding by adding the two address, they are responding and adding the BCC. So that what will happen is first contact will not listen. First it will not check the contact. First what will happen? It will check this ID. What is this BCC ID? Is this BCC ID of any of the organization? Yes, this is the organization AP26. In the AP26, there is some keyword which is provided for this organization. We need to send an email to this person. Now it will try to see first AP26. Within the AP26, it is going to verify which one it has. So it will check that email address, and this has an email to Salesforce configuration. Now send me this two address. This two address is matching with any of the contact. If it is matching with any of the contact, just add the activity in this contact, because we are receiving an email from third party system outside of the Salesforce. We are receiving an email and log this activity within the Salesforce. Clear? Okay, so let's move on. Now, let's move on to the automation. Next one is the automation journey. Salesforce has a automation journey. The reason for automation journey is whenever the Salesforce introduced, that time very basic of the automation was there. Very basic of the automation was there, which is a workflow. In 1993, they have introduced a workflow, which is a very basic. Based on the requirement, whatever the basic need was there during that time, the Salesforce just implemented the basic workflow. As we are going on, client is also experiencing it more. Then after, like in 2005, what they did is they have added more functionality within the workflows, more functionality within the workflow, so that customers or a client can use the workflows with the modern functionality. Now, initially there was nothing called as a field update or email alert was not there. So slowly they have implemented, they have added few more concept into the workflows. Whatever the existing workflow was there, within that they have added few more functionality so that client can use the workflows more actively rather than going for the development, coding or a customization. They can directly go for the workflow. Now, whatever the requirement it was raised by the clients between the 1993 to 2004, those requirements gathered and they have released the latest feature of the workflow in 2005. So 2005, they were using the workflows with the latest features, and it was happy. And after 10 years, in between this gap, client is experiencing it more onto this. So they wanted to see. So they, like a workflow is more kind of a classic view where you need to add the fields kind of a thing. Now Salesforce has came up with something called as a graphical interface where you can add a if else conditions. Now in workflow it was not there. If else conditions you cannot add it. Now Salesforce has came up if else condition graphical view of the if else conditions. Now in 2015 they have came up with a new functionality called process builder. It was having a workflow. Whoever wants to use it, workflow, they can use it. And whoever is more of the visual, they can go for the process builder, right? So 2015, everybody started using the process builder. And it's also based on the requirement, based on the developer comfortable, right? Everything they were able to do that. Now, after again 4 years, right? After 4 years, they have introduced the lightning flows. They have just introduced the lightning flows. It was not the kind of, it was very crazy, but they have just introduced the lightning flows. And people were just learning the flows that time. But the client were still using the process builder. They were comfortable with the process builder during the 2019. Now, after that, 2022, they have made it as a lightning flows are mandatory. Lightning flows are mandatory because the reason is slowly, whatever the process builder can do, lightning flows also can do. Whatever the workflow can do, the lightning flows also can do. So what they did that they have just given an alert to the team customer saying that we might be taking out this process builder and a workflow, or else if you have a still workflow and process builder, we won't support. Salesforce will not be supporting anything if you are using the process builder and workflows. So the request that came from the Salesforce is that you start using the lightning flows. Start using the lightning flows. Now, it's still, if you are using the workflows and process builder, Salesforce says that we do not support the process builder and workflows. You can go ahead and use the process builder and workflows, but we will not be support in case if there is any issue. So that means it is the plan of in 2022, Salesforce was having a plan of retiring the process builder and workflows. It was a plan. So it was came as a like completely restricted, retiring it, or we are completely shut downing it. But actually they were available. Process builder workflows were available. And whoever is using, they can use it. But only the problem is whenever there is any issue, Salesforce was not able to support the workflows and process builder. They were not supporting these two. Now in 2025, by 2025, Salesforce is completely taking out the process builder and workflows. So that means we have a 2 more years. In the meantime, if you get a job into the any company and possible that that company might be using the process builder because we have a still time 2025, right? So they might be using the workflows or process builder. And if there is any issue, then you might need to research it. You might need to research workflows process builder. Salesforce is not going to support you, but developer as a developer, we have to do our own work, right? So in that reason, I'm going to cover the workflows as well as the process builder just at high level so that whenever there is any issue that you get it, you will understand. You will understand where to go and how to debug the things, right? So this is the automation journey. Going forward, we will see only one automation, which is called as a lightning flows. But in the meantime, right, we still have a 1 year or 2 years of time. We still see somewhere here and there, few companies might be using process builder workflows, which is a very rare. Everybody started moving to the lightning flows, but there are few companies, very old companies, right? So they might be hardly having a one workflow or a two workflows kind of a things they might be having it. Now, moving on, the flow is, let's take a scenario. Scenario is I have a product object. I have a product object. In the product object, we have a few fields. Product number, product name, price, purchased. Price, purchase. These are the few fields are available within the product object. Now, initially, these products are displayed. These products data is there in the product object. That means whenever you go to the Amazon, and you will see that there is a multiple products which are displaying, like whenever you search something, some product you are searching it. Now you will see multiple products here in the as a drop down, you will be seeing it, right? So here you will be having some kind of a drop down. If you scroll down this, then you will see the multiple products details are displaying it here, the product name, right? What is the description? And here you will see the image and what is the price, right? So whether you are interested or not, there is a button will be displayed. Like this, it will be displayed. How this is displaying? Because there is a data in the object. There is a data in the table. That's the same data will be displayed here. That's the same data will be displayed in the user interface. Now, as soon as you say that I'm interested to this, as soon as you say I'm interested to this, that means, for example, Mark is the customer. Mark is the customer. Mark is planning to purchase the toy, which is a 15,000. Mark is planning to purchase the toy, which is 15,000. Now he is interested on that. So as soon as he click on that, I'm interested, I'm going to purchase it. But as soon as he purchased it, that means he already paid the amount. Purchased means he is already paid the amount. Once he paid the amount, whatever the purchased no option is there, it should be changed to the yes, right? So how we will be doing it? Right, that means here you will be having a certain steps. Now Mark is selecting the product and selecting the items, selecting the how many items he is selecting it. Then he is paying the amount, right? Amount is paid. Whenever the payment is paid, that means payment is successful. Then on the product object, it should look for the related product. In the product, now look for the one which Mark has bought and go here and change the field from the purchase to the yes. That means he has purchased that. There is only one item which is available. The toy item is only one it is available. Only one it is available. As soon as he purchased it, now it should be changed here. Purchased should be from no to yes, it should be changed. That means in order to do this entire process in Salesforce, these all things are happening at the back end. Whenever you are buying something in the Amazon, like you are simply selecting the product and paying the amount, and as soon as you say paid, then immediately sometimes you see that next time the product is not available, it will show as a disabled. The reason is back end in the database, there is some data which is updated. That's the reason it was having a only one product, that one product you purchased it. And next time, whenever you are searching the same product, you might see the disabled product. That means you will not have an option to select go ahead for. So no more products for that, right? So these all details how it is happening. As soon as you purchase it, there has to be some data updated at the back end. The data updated at the back end. Whenever the data is updated at the back end, that means there is some purchase is happened, somebody is paid amount, bill amount, right, discount amount, whatever is there, everything should be added to the table. That means we need to track the details. Now, this everything is happening automatically. This everything is happening automatically. Now, nobody is sitting at the back end. Whenever you purchase in the Amazon, nobody is watching at you and whether you have purchased. Okay, as soon as you click on a purchase, show this button. Now, the person is not sitting in front of the system to do all those actions. There will be some automation which has been implemented at the back end based on your button clicks in the Amazon. The actions will be happen immediately. Now, how this is happening? Now, on this object, on the product object, we have to implement a automation tool. We have to implement automation tool. Now, that automation tool, what it does is basically it is going to check what is the actions are happening. Now in the automation tool, there are two types of it. Automation is there. One is an immediate action, another one is a time dependent. Another one is time dependent. Immediate action is, this is the immediate action. As soon as mark is purchased, then immediately I wanted to update this record, which is an immediate action, right? So immediate action is whenever the mark is updated, purchase this, updating the purchased field as a yes. Now I'm updating here purchase field to yes. Before it was a no, and now I'm updating to the yes. And the balance should be zero because he paid entire amount. He paid entire amount. So these are the immediate actions which has to be happen immediately on the fly. Whenever customer is doing there, it has to be automation should be executed immediately. Automation should be executed immediately. Now, time dependent emails. Now, usually we will receive some kind of a SMS or email. Time dependent emails means example. For example, every first day of month, you will receive a credit card bill. You will receive credit card bill. Now they will send a credit card bill on around 29th or 30th itself. They will send an email with the amount that how much you need to pay, everything they will be sending it. If you do not pay the amount by 10th or by 15th, they will send you another email. Right? If you do not pay still, after 5 days, again they will send you one more email. If you do not pay, again they will send you after 5 days or a 10 days. Like that, every 10 days or every 5 days, they will going to remind you, right? That means you need to pay that amount. So pay that amount has to be happen, which is a time dependent. Every 5 days, check the record whether the customer is paid the credit card bill or not. If it did not pay it, send another email, which is a time dependent. Now after 10 days, again check the record. Is the balance is zero, credit card bill balance is zero. It's not yet paid. That means again send one more email, which is a time dependent based on the time, right? So every 5 days before due date of the 5 days, now there is a certain due date is there for the credit card bill. Now before the 5 days, they are going to send an email saying that you have to pay the amount, right? Or after that, 2 days before to it, 2 days before due date, they will send another SMS email. One day before due date, they will send another SMS and email. And on the same day, they will send another SMS. Even after 1 day also, after 1 day also, they will send another email. Right? So these are the time dependent. That means they are giving some flexibility that so that we can pay the amount, right? So which is a time dependent. Now, if you observe here time dependent has before and after, before and after. It has a before on the same day and after. That means before the due date, after the due date. After the due date, you can send a SMS and email, which is a time dependent, Now, these are the two options which are available. Automation tool, immediate action. Immediate action is whenever the user is performing there, immediately I want the record to be updated. Time dependent is even the user is not on the user interface, not on the screen. Now, based on the certain time, I wanted to send an email or a SMS to this person. Right? So this is the scenario. This is the scenario and this is how some example. For SMS emails, we generally go for a time dependent. Now, first one we will see workflow rules. Out of the automation rule, we have the automation rule, workflow, process builder, lightning flows. First, we will see the workflow rules. Now, workflow rules are used to automate the certain business process inside the organization. Now, workflow rules does not support all the automation. It supports only specific certain business process. Certain business process automation rule. A certain business process is supported by the workflow. Not everything can be implemented. Now, each workflow rule should be associated with an object. Each workflow rule should be associated with an object, but an object can have one or more workflow. Workflow is associated with single object, but object can have one or more workflows. Now, this is the object. Now, object is, and here it is a workflow. Here it is a workflow. Now, workflow is connected to the single object, whereas multiple objects, I have a multiple objects, or here I have a multiple workflows. This is a workflow 1, workflow 2, and this is a workflow 3. Right? 1, 2, 3. Single workflow is connected to the single object, whereas object is connected to the multiple workflows. Object is connected to the multiple workflows. Workflows to object, it is a one-to-one relationship. Object to workflows, it is one to many. One object is connected to the many workflows. Now, workflow is divided into two types. Event, which is nothing but a evaluation criteria. Second one is a action. Second one is action. First one is a event evaluation criteria. Second one is action. Second one is action. Event evaluation criteria. Event is nothing but what is the event that the workflow should be firing in. What is the event that the workflow should be firing in? That means what is the scenario? What is the event? What is the scenario that this workflow should be firing it? Now, action is nothing but what is the action that needs to be performed? Updating the field action or sending an email action or I wanted to perform different action, task action, right? Whatever the actions are there, what is the action? That means event is nothing but there should be some scenario. There should be some scenario, some event should be there. It is similar like if you have a function or something event, right? So it is similar to that. So you have to have some event. There should be some scenario when the workflow should be firing it. When the workflow should be firing it. What is the event? What is the event and what is the scenario? What is the scenario when the event when this workflow should be firing on which event? On which event? Action is nothing but do you want to update a field? Update action or send an email alert, send an email alert action, task creation action. So there are multiple actions are there which can be performed. Take a notes of it. Let me know once you have taken. Okay, how about others? Okay, now let's move on. Type of workflow rules. What are the different type of workflow rules? Now, type of workflow rules are there are two type of workflow rules. Two type of workflow rules. One is an immediate action workflow. Second one is time dependent action. Time dependent action. First one is an immediate action. Second one is a time dependent action. Now, immediate action fires the action immediately as soon as the criteria is met. As soon as the criteria is met, fire the action. Now, immediate action can be performed. 40 immediate actions can be added into the workflow rules. More than this, we cannot add. 40 is lot more. 40 immediate actions we can add into the workflow. Now, next one is a time dependent. Time dependent action is it fires the action based on the certain or a specific time period. Specific time period. Now, these are the two options, two type of workflow rules. One is a immediate action workflow, another one is time dependent. Now you go for any automation tool, there is a immediate and a time dependent. Similarly, workflow is also having the immediate and a time dependent. There is no restriction on the time dependent. You can add as many as, but immediate action you can add it 40 immediate actions. Take a notes of it. Done. Everybody taken the notes? Okay. Let's move on. The first one is, let's see the use case. Configure a workflow rule to notify the hiring manager upon assigning a new position report to the HR person. That means I need to notify the hiring manager whenever the hiring manager is assigned to a position. That means whenever the new position is created, that time we are linking the hiring manager. Whenever we assign a hiring manager to the position, then it has to be notified. Send an immediate email alert. It's a immediate email alert because as soon as the record is created, I wanted to send a notification to the hiring manager. Now configure the time dependent action as below to remind the HR person regarding the position posted. Now we have to implement two of them. One is the immediate action, one is the time dependent action. For time dependent is I'm going to remind the HR person for closing the position before the milestone date. Whatever the milestone date is there for the position, before that they should be closing the position. Now the reminders are 10 days before the position milestone, one email, 5 days before the position milestone, another email 2 days before the position milestone date, another email 1 day before the position milestone date, email alert, 0 days before the position milestone date, email alert, and then 10 days after the position milestone date, change the position status to closed. Right, this is the scenario. Now let's go ahead and implement. Now, in order to implement this scenario, the first step is we need to do the event. We need to describe the event when the workflow should be firing it. Now, Salesforce is provided whenever we are selecting the event. Whenever we are selecting the event, Salesforce is provided three options. The first one is a created, second one is a created and every time edited. And the third one is created and anytime it is edited and meeting the subsequent criteria. These three options are available. Whenever we are creating the workflow rule, while creating the workflow rule, it will ask because we need to choose what is the event during the creation of record, that is the event, or during the creation and every time it is edited, is that the event, for created and any time it is edited and meeting the subsequent criteria, is that the event. Now we need to check what is the event here. Now created is nothing but it will fire the workflow once a new record has been created inside the object. Now that means as soon as the record is created inside the object, I wanted to fire this event. So that is the event is when to fire the event once the record is created. Now the second one is created and every time it is edited. That means it will fire the workflow rule. A new record is created inside the object and whenever the record has been updated inside the object, whenever the record is updated inside the object, whether you do the update or every time whenever you edit, right? Every time it is edited. right? Whenever it is editing it, it is going to fire the workflow. So the event is when to fire the event whenever the record is created and every time it is edited. And the third option is created and any time it is edited and meeting subsequent criteria. That means it will fire a record, it will fire the workflow rule once the record is created successfully inside the object, and it will fire the workflow rule upon updating the record based on the certain conditions. Here I'll mentioning the condition. If that condition is true and if the record is modified, then only it is going to fire. So anytime edited and meeting the criteria is nothing but it will fire the workflow rule whenever the updating the record and which also meets the specified condition, then only the fire the record. Now when to fire an event? Fire an event created and anytime it is edited and meeting the subsequent criteria. Whenever it is during the updating, whenever you are editing the record, it is first check the specified condition. If the condition is true, then only it is going to fire the event. These are the three options in the event. These are the three options in the event. Take a notes of it. Done taking the notes. Take the notes. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and implement it, one of the workflow. Now let's go to the Salesforce and the navigation steps for this is go to the setup, home and search for a workflow. Search for workflow. Workflow rules. Workflow rules. Now here, this is the just a information. No need to worry about this. Just click on continue. If you do not want to see this page, right, just check this so that next time onwards it will not show this page. Now it has given some information. What are the different type of the actions we have, like everything it has given. Click on it, continue. Now, this is how you will see the first time. right? So it says that configure your organization workflow by creating the workflow rules. Criteria that causes the workflow rule to run, immediate action that executes when a record matches the criteria. Right, so whatever we have discussed, now it has to explain the immediate action, time dependent action. Now let's click on a new button here. Now when I click on a new button, right now it is going to ask you this. Right now it is going to ask you this. Try it in a flow builder. That means they are suggesting us to not use the workflow, go for a flow builder. Go for flow builder, because after 2 years they are going to completely shut down the workflow and process builder. So they are giving you some hint, go for a flow builder. Now let's say that go for a workflow rules itself. I wanted to go for a workflow rules. Now, first step in the workflow, it is going to ask you the object. What is the object that you wanted to select? Now, object that you wanted to select, the object that you wanted to select here, what is the object we will be selecting here? What is the use case? Do I need to select the object of position record, or do I need to select the object of hiring manager? Which object do I need to select it? Which object do I need to select, hiring manager or a, see here I need to go for position object. Why can't hiring manager? Why can't the hiring manager? If I select a hiring manager, what will happen? Event is occurring on the position object. Whenever new position record is created, right, we need to notify the HR. Now let's go ahead and select the position here. Select the position object. Click on a next button. When I click on a next button, now here we can give the information. Let's say that new position, new position record role, right? Now, evaluation criteria, we have a three different type of evaluation criteria. Created, and every time it is edited, created, and any time it is edited to subsequent meeting criteria. Let's say created. For this scenario, I'll say created. Right, so this is the evaluation criteria. And what should be the rule criteria? Rule criteria is, let's go to the position object and let's check. Now I have a position object. Whenever the position object is created, a couple of things which I need to cross verify. HR email ID should not be null, right? And the hiring manager, where is the hiring manager should not be null. Milestone date should not be null. These are the options I need to check. Now position status also should be new. Now position hiring manager HR email ID not equal to null. And let's say that position status or location, position status equal to, I'll specify new. I'll specify new. Click on new, insert. And here position milestone date. Position milestone date is not equal to null. Now, this hiring manager, it is already a mandatory field. It is already a mandatory field, right? So, and what are the lookup relationships are there? The lookup relationship we cannot see here. The lookup relationship I cannot see. So it is a hiring manager. What is it? Hiring manager is the field. Now, if I click on this position, can I see hiring manager? I cannot see the hiring manager. It says HR email ID, right? So I cannot even see any of the hiring manager. It does not give me the lookup field. It does not give me the lookup field. So we cannot check hiring manager not equal to null. But anyway, that's a mandatory field. HR email ID is not equal to null. Position status equal to new. And position milestone date equal to not equal to null. Now these are the options we are selecting it. Click on save and next. Click on save and next. This is evaluation criteria. The first one is evaluating the evaluation criteria, right? This is a step 2. Click on a save and next button. Now, once we click on a save and next button, once we click on save and next button, now here step 3 is going to specify action. Step 2 is a event. Step 3 is a actions. Now you need to specify the action. Do you want to do the immediate action or a time dependent action? We have an immediate action. The immediate action of the scenario is send an email alert upon assigning the position record, creating the position record. Now that means I need to send an email. Now here, when we say action, right? So when we say action, actions are, there are different type of actions. There are different type of actions. Action is nothing but a workflow rule can have a one or more actions. It is possible that every workflow or each workflow can have more than one action. That means Salesforce provides a below type of actions can be automated through the workflow rules. What are those? Email alerts, field update, assigning a task, outbound message, right? These are the options which are available. These are the options which are available. These are the 4 actions which are available in the action. These are the 4 actions which are available in the action. Take a notes of it. Done with taking the notes. Okay. So these are the 4 actions. Now, email alert is basically you can send an email notification. You can send email notification. Prerequisites are there should be existing email template. There should be a existing email template. This is a prerequisite. Now, field update is where you will be updating the field from old value to the new value. Old value to the new value. Mostly we will use a pick list field here. Field update, I am updating some status, right? So I am updating the status here. Now each field update action is used to update only one field. It has only one field update. And to update the multiple fields, we have to add a multiple field update action. In single field update action, you can update only one field. If you want a multiple field update action, multiple fields to be updated, then you need to add multiple actions in the workflow, which makes the workflow more complex and will impact the performance of the application. Will impact the performance of the application. Now take a notes of it. Then first we will see the email alert. Take a notes, then we will go for email alerts. For email alerts, how can I send an email alert? Prerequisite says email template should be there. Now for email template, we have already done the email template. Now how can I send the email alert, email notification from the workflow? Is everybody taking notes on this? Done. Okay. Now first email alert. So let's go ahead and create an email alert, new email alert. When I click on a new email alert, when I click on new email alert, now it is asking me the email template here. It is asking me the email template. Now I can choose some email template. Right, email template is which is classic. Now let's go to the customer emails. Now here, right, so I'll take this on creation of position record. Description is send an email to HR on creation of position record. On creation of position record. Now recipient is user. Who is the user? Do you have any user? Or is there any account owner? Or do you have an email field? Yes, email field is email. There are multiple options are there. If you want an account owner, you can take an account owner. What are the account owner is there? That person details. Case team, like you have a support and product manager team, those teams you can take it. Creator, whoever is the record is created, that person details. Now email field is if there are any email fields on the position object, it will take those fields. Now the next one is owner field. Whoever is the owner of the position, that for them it will send an email. Public groups, if you want to send a information to the group, right? As soon as the record is created, you wanted to send it to the group. Related contacts, if the position is connected to the any contact, then you can send those contact. Related user, that means any which is a lost modified user, or in case if the position object is connected to the user, then it can connect to the, we can send it to those users. Roles, if you want to specify any specific roles. Role and subordinate user, you can specify any users. Now I'm taking the email field. Now this is the email field. Along with the email field, I also wanted to alert, send a message to the Hyderabad sales group. I wanted to send an email to the HR as well as Hyderabad sales group, because that group is going to take care of all the positions. Now these two members I wanted to select here as a recipient type, as a recipient type. Now along with this, if you want to add any additional email, if you want to add any additional email, you can add it. Can anybody give your email IDs? So we can add additional emails. Maximum 5 email address we can add. Maximum 5 email address we can add. Now next one is from email address. Now along with this two address, along with this recipient address, now I can also add this additional email. I can also add this additional email. Now this additional emails are maximum I can send 5. Maximum I can send the 5. Thank you. The maximum is I can send 5 emails. Maximum 5 email address I can add it. Now I have added the details here. The next one is a from email address. Who is the from person? Do you want to use your current user email address or a help desk? Help desk is nothing but if you go to the profile and here you say settings. Now here you have a my email settings. Now here you have a whatever the help desk email is there, that is the help desk, or usually you go for a current user email address. Now make this address default from email address for this object, email alerts. Now if you want to make this as a default address, you can specify this. Click on save. Click on save. Now are you sure setting the default email address? Override the email address for all the emails or alerts associated with the object. You can still customize it. That's okay. So that is just a warning message. If you say that make a default, it is going to make a default for everybody. Now this email, this one is going to be sent to this person, this is going to fire whenever the position is created and the HR email is not equal to null, position status equal to new, and position milestone date not equal to null, then we are going to send an email. Now let's go ahead and test it. Position, but did we activate the workflow? We have created the workflow, but did we activate it? Activate is important. It is not activated. Click on here, activate. Right? So here if I open right now, this is activate. The criteria is, this is the criteria, and I'm going to send immediate email. Now let's go ahead and create a position record. Now let me take this copy of this. Let's open this, clone. Right, instead of Hari, let me take somebody else. Let's take a Dhananjay. And it's a Hyderabad location. I'm not modifying this. This is a clone, right? Yeah. So Hyderabad location, and this is for Lightning Aura or a Salesforce integration. Salesforce integration. Now close date is, let's say, 7th June, and milestone date is also 7th June. Open date is today. Right, so just they have a 1 month. Let's keep it as a month. Right, so they have just a month of it, and this is the email ID, and this is the contact number, and salary will be a, let's keep $30,000, and integration 4+ years of experience, and should have experience in integration. Fine. Now I'll say here I have a milestone date, HR email ID is there. Also hiring manager, location, number of vacancies, let's say 2 positions open. Now status is new. Status is new. And then click on a save button. Now, have you guys received anything? Now we'll be sending an email to the Samskar IT. Right, April batch, new position. Right, this is a new position. We have a position. Open this, and number of vacancies 2, position status is new, Salesforce integration, and this is the step 30/06/2023. And click here the link. If you click on the link, then you will be able to open the record. But you need to have a credentials. If you do not have a credentials, you will not be able to open. So if you click on this, it will ask you user ID and password. Right? So this is immediate action. This is immediate action. The rest of the things we will see tomorrow. Rest of the things we will see tomorrow. Okay, so the trial head, practice the trial head. Let me give you the trial head link. And along with this trial head, let me give you the homework. Homework is configure a workflow rule notifying configure it, notify a notify the contact upon creating the new opportunity record. Where the stage should be. After creating the opportunity, the stage should be prospecting. Send an immediate email alert upon assigning the creating the new opportunity. This is one homework. This is configure a workflow rule to notify the contact upon creating a new opportunity. Record where the stage should be a prospecting, and send an immediate email alert upon creating a new opportunity record. Fine. Along with this, also practice the trial head.
Ma'am,
Yes.
from yesterday's homework, when I'm creating lightning email template, after profile assigning after all the things,